So think about your morning routine for just a second. You wake up, maybe you drizzle a little honey into your tea, or perhaps you start cooking up breakfast using a nice big spoonful of ghee. Now, what if I told you that every single time you picked up that bottle of honey, that jar of ghee, or even that carton of coconut water that proudly promises 100% pure or 100% natural right there on the front label, you were actually looking at an illegal, totally unverifiable marketing slogan? What if those bold, reassuring words were actually violating national food law?
Are you buying 100% pure lies every single day? I mean, it sounds totally unbelievable, right? We just trust these labels blindly. We trust them because they're often printed on major, heritage brands we've known since childhood, brands sitting right there in our local grocery store shelves day in and day out. We naturally assume they're legally guaranteed, fully backed by rigorous science and strict government testing. But as it turns out, these absolute claims are often in direct violation of national food law. Yep, the golden age of numerical purity marketing is officially coming to a screeching halt.
Here is what's happening. India's apex food regulator has just thrown down the ultimate legal hammer on deceptive purity claims. And honestly, it is sending absolute shockwaves to the entire industry. The Food Safety and Standards Authority of India, which you probably know as FSSAI, has officially prohibited Dabur, one of the country's largest, most trusted everyday consumer goods giants, from selling a wide range of popular food products carrying these misleading 100% purity claims. Taking down a heritage brand of this massive size, that is a super rare and highly aggressive move. It proves the regulator is absolutely no longer playing nice.
What we're looking at is a sweeping ban on 100% natural and 100% pure labels across daily household staples. So, welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are breaking down a really massive piece of consumer protection, business, and regulatory news that directly impacts your daily kitchen shelf and ultimately your household grocery bill. The regulator has stepped in and declared that using 100% as a numerical claim is just way too ambiguous. It is mathematically impossible to verify, and most importantly, it's engineered to be inherently misleading to everyday shoppers like you and me who just want to feed our family safe, authentic food.
In this explainer, here is exactly what we're going to cover. First, the 100% pure illusion. Second, how labeling laws work. Third, the FSSAI crackdown explained. Fourth, changing your shopping habits. And fifth, the final takeaway.
Let's dive into Section 1, the 100% pure illusion. Before we really get into the nitty-gritty specifics of the enforcement order against Dabur, we need to set up some background context. Why exactly do food companies rely so heavily on these numerical hooks? Why are they literally everywhere we look?
Let's actually think about the psychology of the supermarket aisle for a moment. When you walk into a grocery store, you are completely surrounded by thousands of different products. Your eyes have to process hundreds of colorful packages in just a matter of seconds. You simply do not have the time to stand there and read every single detail. So, to get you to pick up their bottle instead of a competitor's, food brands rely on something called front-of-pack claims. These are those bold marketing slogans, things like fresh, natural, authentic, or pure, printed in giant, unmissable fonts right on the front label. They use bright colors and catchy buzzwords specifically designed to overwhelm your logical decision-making, grab your attention instantly, and essentially make you choose their product in the blink of an eye.
Moving on to Section 2, how labeling laws work. To really understand the loophole that these companies are exploiting, we first have to take a look at the law itself. Under the Food Safety and Standards Advertising and Claims Regulations of 2018, the government laid out strict, crystal-clear rules for what brands can and cannot print on a food label. The law explicitly mandates that any claim made on a package must be clear, it must be scientifically verifiable, and it has to be accompanied by proper context.
Let's use a real-world analogy to explain why the absolute number 100% creates such a massive legal loophole here. Imagine a salesperson tells you a brand new smartphone is 100% indestructible. Naturally, your immediate expectation is that it's going to survive extreme situations, like drops on solid concrete or accidental spills in water. So you buy it, feeling completely confident in your purchase. But then, reality hits. The phone slips out of your pocket onto a regular wooden floor and shatters instantly. When you go back to complain, the salesperson tells you, well, it's 100% indestructible compared to a fragile glass light bulb. You would feel completely cheated, right? The absolute number 100% completely tricks the human brain into expecting a flawless, unconditional guarantee.
Well, that exact same logic applies to our packaged food. Just think about the journey of a food product, from a natural farm to an industrial factory, and finally into your grocery bag. In nature and in industrial food processing, asserting that a packaged product sitting on a store shelf for 6 months is 100% pure or 100% natural is just a mathematical impossibility. Every natural crop absorbs varying trace elements from the environment. Once harvested, every packaged food undergoes some form of processing, pasteurization, refining, or storage just to make it shelf-stable. By slapping a giant 100% badge on the front label, brands trick consumers into believing they are getting this absolute, flawless guarantee straight from Mother Nature, completely bypassing any of the verifiable scientific context the law actually requires.
Section 3, the FSSAI Crackdown Explained. So this brings us to the main story. The regulatory action here unfolded almost like a digital sting operation. FSSAI didn't just casually glance at a few random boxes on a shelf. No, they conducted really detailed, meticulous regulatory audits. Inspectors scraped through products sold directly on Dabur's official website, they dug deep into commercial e-commerce channels, and they closely examined all that tiny fine print that consumers usually miss.
During these thorough audits, the inspectors flagged a widespread, totally undeniable pattern of numerical purity claims. FSSAI explicitly identified everyday household staples across the board: Dabur honey, Dabur cow ghee, virgin coconut oil, sesame oil, Dabur homemade coconut milk, and tender coconut water. We're not talking about niche luxury items here. These are the foundational ingredients found in almost every single Indian kitchen, which makes the deception so much more impactful to the everyday person. These products were carrying heavy-handed claims like 100% purity guaranteed. The regulator stated in unambiguous terms that these claims directly contravene those 2018 regulations because they are engineered specifically to mislead everyday shoppers.
Let's break down the science of why this is illegal in a super beginner-friendly way. Take a compound food product, like packaged coconut milk. Claiming 100% purity on coconut milk is legally impermissible because coconut milk is what scientists call an emulsion. When you mix extracted coconut solids and water together to create that smooth, creamy liquid, you're essentially creating a recipe. You are creating a processed mixture. And because it is a mixture of different elements, making an absolute purity claim is completely scientifically false. You simply cannot call a processed emulsion 100% pure. It doesn't make sense. Now, in addition to those general claims, FSSAI uncovered a second, even more serious regulatory violation. But first, we need to quickly understand the Jaivik Bharat logo. This is India's official, government-backed green seal. It's a symbol of absolute trust, and earning this logo is incredibly difficult. A farm has to undergo rigorous soil testing and prove years of chemical-free harvesting to certify that a food product is genuinely organic and fully verified under the Organic Foods Regulations of 2017.
So, here is the major breach. During their inspection, officials found that Dabur was prominently displaying this highly trusted, official Jaivik Bharat logo on packaging for products like Himalayan organic apple cider vinegar and organic honey, without actually holding a valid FSSAI organic endorsement for those specific products. This is a massive deal, guys. This is basically like a security guard wearing a fake police badge or someone hanging a fake medical degree on their office wall. Using a government trust seal without the corresponding valid legal permission escalates a simple labeling error into a very serious breach of consumer trust. Now, before anyone starts to panic, it is absolutely crucial to clarify a major point of confusion that has been spreading like wildfire on social media recently. To be absolutely clear, the marketing is banned. The food itself is not banned. FSSAI's order does not state that the Dabur honey, ghee, or coconut oil inside those jars is contaminated, toxic, or unsafe to consume. Not at all. The prohibition order solely targets the deceptive marketing language printed on the cardboard, the label, and the website. The food itself is perfectly safe. What makes this enforcement order so incredibly significant is that it wasn't just some sudden surprise attack. FSAI had actually previously issued notices asking for voluntary discontinuation, but because that didn't happen to the regulator's satisfaction, they dropped this strict prohibition order, creating a massive logistical nightmare for the company. To resume sales smoothly, Dabur must follow exact steps. First, strip away the misleading 100% claims. Second, remove unauthorized organic logos. Third, fix their packaging text. And fourth, file a comprehensive action-taken report within a strict 15-day deadline. Recalling labels and redesigning packaging across the entire country in just 2 weeks, that is a monumental task. Section 4. Changing your shopping habits. This is where we answer the ultimate "so what" question. How does a regulatory prohibition order against one major brand actually alter your daily grocery shopping and impact your family?
First off, this creates a massive industry-wide ripple effect. For decades, major food brands have operated under the really comfortable assumption that they could just print hyperbolic, numerical claims without ever being heavily challenged. By publicly calling out one of the largest heritage brands in the country, FSSA is sending a loud, crystal-clear warning shot to the entire multi-billion-dollar food industry. Just imagine the frantic Zoom calls happening right now in the boardrooms of other rival food companies. Every single consumer goods brand is currently scrambling to audit their own labels, tear up old marketing plans, and remove ambiguous numerical hooks before the regulator targets them next.
Second, and honestly most importantly, this thoroughly empowers you as a consumer. True transparency is found on the back nutritional panel, not the front marketing fluff. You can stop falling for those flashy front-of-pack gimmicks right now. Here's a super quick 10-second tip for your next grocery run. Next time you pick up a bottle that claims to be 100% natural, turn the bottle around and look at the first 3 items on the ingredient list. Ingredients are always listed by weight. If sugar, water, or artificial preservatives are at the very top, you immediately know it's not 100% pure anything. We all need to start checking the actual ingredient list, verify legitimate organic registration numbers, and choose brands that provide honest information.
Section 5. The final takeaway. This enforcement action marks a truly crucial maturation point for Indian regulatory enforcement and for consumer rights overall. The authorities are no longer just sending out polite warnings. They are actively policing false advertising with very real consequences.
Ultimately, FSSAI's prohibition order against misleading marketing claims is a historic win for consumer rights and for true food transparency. By enforcing strict advertising standards and viciously protecting organic seals, the food regulator is basically forcing brands to earn consumer trust through honest labeling rather than clever psychological tricks. Absolute purity claims without scientific proof simply have no place on our food packaging.
The illusion of 100% pure labels has been officially exposed. So, will you stop trusting the front marketing fluff and start actually reading the back ingredient list on your grocery items from now on? Think about it next time you are standing in the supermarket aisle. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, smash that like button, and I will see you in the next explainer.